Good morning, and thank you for joining us for Unscripted on 13 Plus. I'm Carson Courier, and you are taking a live look out to Mount Bigelow this morning, where I was just asking 13 First Alert meteorologist Dave Spar. I'm like, Dave, why is it dark here? He's like, probably the cloud cover, because there's some stuff going on up there, especially lots of clouds.
Yeah, we have to clear out all of that, which is expected in the forecast today. We'll clear those skies out a little bit here for you, so enjoy that.
And then some changes.
Oh, we got more coming. We got more coming, yeah. So you want to go up there for Saturday, bring your dog along. It looks great because we have a new batch coming our way. This is what we have, some unfinished business, but you can see, look at the kind of the white that's all on there. That's the cloud cover that we still have to deal with. We have drier air moving in here that will kind of take care of that, so that's the next order of business. So that's where we're on that front. Our temperatures are sluggish too. We need some help. 57 Tucson, a lot of 50s off to the east, so we didn't get a real big cool down from this system like we did, or we will, from the next one. There's what's left over. You see the dry air moving in, clearing out for our afternoon until tonight. Here comes a shield in from the south, but it'll be at night, so stargazers, I'm sorry. We do have our wind advisory that's in place. This covers everybody, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. But, however, places like Ajo, you're going to lift off by 8 p.m. That will lift off sooner than elsewhere across the region. We are seeing a rain come in after this. So these winds will be intense in some spots, maybe up to 45 or 50 miles per hour or better than that. Here's a little sample to give you a general idea. They get rocking first before the rain, then the rain moves in kind of behind it as almost an afterthought, if you will. Computer's stuck, there we go. And this is the rain then moving in behind all of that. It's going to take place overnight. It's going to dip to the south in terms of being cold. I'll show you this right about here. This lifts off. Boom, that's the system there. 5 p.m. Most of the wind is to the east. But then the system moves on through. There's the bit of the winter precipitation. Quick mover now, but there's still some residual moisture left over, so we're not entirely done. So we get to like Friday night and into Saturday morning, or there's Friday night. There you see some leftover moisture, but by Saturday, we'll start to clear out for our Sunday as well. And then a little bit of warming up while we're at it too. High temperatures expected for today. We're pretty close to the seasonal averages, about 71 with a lot of 60s off towards the east. It's a busy 7-day forecast, one that would be like spring, but feels like winter in spots. 54 for Friday, Saturday 62, and 84 on Monday. Carson, next week there are a couple of other systems that we'll be watching. However, they will be more wind producers.
Okay.
This is more typical as we get into April, and it's drier, there's less moisture, and that's what it looks like these systems will provide for us before a little warm-up after that.
Okay, love to see the warm-up, but I know we need the rain.
We do.
And
at least this was, by the way, this was a very good rain we had. It was nocturnal. It was, kind of a nice, gentle type of rain. It could let the environment absorb it. If we were a type 1 type civilization, as I mentioned before, we would engineer this because it's perfect. Unlike the noisy system we're going to get tomorrow night, but we'll take the rain, but it's going to make a lot of noise.
Okay, good to know.
Alrighty.
Thank you,
Good.
Dave. And we do want to go ahead and talk about the Tucson Festival of Books. It is back this weekend. The registered nonprofit organization made its debut in March 2009 on the campus of the University of Arizona. Back then, 50,000 people attended, but listen to this. Last year, 130,000 people were there at the University of Arizona. And this morning, we have Dream 2 author founder Jackie Haley with us this morning. Jackie, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. You know, I always love coming to Tucson. It is beautiful here, and it's so different from where I'm from.
Yeah.
But we also have a big 130,000 person party coming on this weekend.
Exciting.
So, yeah, it's great.
Oh my goodness, a lot to look forward to, whether it be the books, the authors, the classes, the speeches, everything. Really?
You know, and this whole industry has changed even in the last 5 years. So it's kind of fun to see what's going on and what's new. And you can learn so much at this festival.
Absolutely. Now, speaking of learning, Jackie, you've been here. You said this is going to be your third year at the Tucson Festival of Books. Okay, so you have a booth there.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit more about what you do, your program, what you're going to be talking about at your booth.
Yes. Actually, you know, my passion came from writing my first book. I actually had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah.
I needed the help. I got the help. Now that I know, going through that entire process, I didn't have those resources out there. So now I'm providing those. So I help people write, publish, and market their first book.
Okay.
And it's been amazing. We've helped hundreds of writers in 7 different countries and over 15 states in the U.S. just move forward with their book, whether it's a leadership book or a memoir or a strong message where they can inspire others and change lives. That's what we're about. So we help people that do that.
Okay, so tell me a little bit more about like specifics here. So within your program, all genres, you said,
Yes.
people who are interested in writing all genres.
Yes.
Is it kind of thinking about what's going to sell, how to go about writing it, how to go about publishing it, or everything, right?
It's really all of the above.
Okay.
So we help them through the writing process. That's obviously the first thing.
Yeah.
You want to write not only a story, but a story that sells. A story
Exactly.
that's engaging, that
Yeah.
connects with the target audience. And then also you want to make sure that you are figuring out that publishing. Whenever I talk to anybody that's writing their first book, we talk publishing and they just glass over.
Yeah.
They're just like, I don't even know what to watch out for. And that's how I was when I was writing my first book. So navigating through that, and that has changed. Pre-COVID, we had over 400,000 titles on average published every year.
Yeah.
Post-COVID, we're in the millions. And it's
Wow.
been an explosion of self-publishing companies. Well, with that, you get some scammers, and there's some things that you have to watch out for.
Oh, okay.
So
Good to know.
as a new author, navigating that, finding out people that know what they're doing and
Yeah.
help you through that process is key.
Absolutely. Now, I do have your latest book here.
Yes.
Okay, Write Your Book, Let's Get It Done by Jackie Haley here.
Yes.
I know there's a little glare. Tell us a little bit about is this book. So what makes this book different from other books you've written?
So this is actually my first how-to book. I've written
Oh, cool.
fiction and nonfiction,
Okay.
but this is strictly really focused on the programs and the education that we offer through
Mm-hmm.
Dream to Author. So it's all about writing that book that's engaging.
Yeah.
Getting in the right mindset. That's number one, setting the foundation, figuring out, okay, what does it look like? How do I start the book?
Yeah.
How do I get to the next chapter? What do I, how long is it going to take for me to
Yeah.
do that? And is it worth it? Is it worth the time to write an entire book? So we lead them through, and we have a special formula, so
Okay.
they can nail down to the week how long it will take for them to write their first draft.
Okay.
But we also have editing. We have 10 self-editing guide tips and just everything. But it takes
Yeah.
you through the publishing as well as the marketing in today's market, which it's crucial today because it's changed so much.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Now, I do want to go ahead and pull up here. I'm switching the screen
Oh, yes.
to your website. So tell me a little bit about your website here. So you can sign up here. Do
Yes.
you get all this information for free? Do you
Yes.
have to pay? How does it work?
So you can go into the programs or live workshops or even on client books. There's a little bit of who we've worked with in the past, but
Awesome.
there are leaders. Former Congressman Jim Ross Lightfoot, he wrote a memoir. We've got business owners, we've got leaders, we have speakers, high-profile speakers, things like that are out there that just need that help. They have an amazing expertise in their
Yeah.
field, but they don't know how to tell that story in a book. So we help them through that process. So you can actually sign up for free tips.
Okay.
You can go through, I have a free 5-day training that starts the end of the month. And
Oh, okay.
so that's exciting. And that's all on the resources tab, I believe,
Okay.
that you can go to get that.
Awesome.
So yeah, it's trying to hit every budget. But for the people that really need the help, they can get that through there.
Yeah. This
Absolutely.
is so interesting to me. I've always said that I wanted to write a book. Don't necessarily know what that would be. Do you kind of find that that's some people as well that are signing
Absolutely.
up?
You know,
Like they have the passion, but they just can't figure out what it's going to be?
They do. And a lot of people, they'll have multiple topics they want to talk about,
Yeah.
or multiple stories, or they just don't know where to navigate through that. So in my coaching, we narrow down those topics because you really need that one message
Yeah.
that's going to resonate with a certain target audience.
Exactly.
And that's how you're going to get that connection, and that converts to sales. And that's what we want. So.
Okay. I can relate a little bit with news here. We always talk about, okay, so what's your focus?
Yes.
Because especially
Yeah.
with stories, when we're telling a story, you can go all over the place, you know?
Oh,
There's so many
absolutely.
different angles you can take.
Absolutely.
So finding that focus, I would imagine, would be extremely important.
Yes.
Okay.
It's getting that focus, that message. What are you providing? What are you bringing to that target
Yeah.
audience? And what kind of value is that? So that's what they want. When they're going into a bookstore,
Yeah.
and they pick up that book, they need to know that it's worth their time to read
Exactly.
it and the money that they're paying for it. So
Yeah.
they want to make sure that they're learning something or getting a value or being inspired or motivated, things like that. So yeah.
Okay, personal question here.
Yeah.
Something that I've found a lot of. I recently bought a Kindle. And
Yes.
so now a lot of times I feel like people are doing more just PDF online versions of their books and not necessarily like spending the money to print. Is that something you're seeing?
You know, I'm glad you brought that up. I actually just did a TV interview on
okay.
the best formats because and audiobooks are exploding.
Huge right now. Yeah.
Right? They have been, over the last 9 years, they've had double-digit increase in revenue on sales on audiobooks.
Yeah.
This last year, they surpassed the ebook
Wow.
revenue. So not only are people buying the ebook version, because
Yeah.
you don't have to have a suitcase
Exactly.
of
Exactly.
books, right? You just have your one Kindle. But when they have the audiobook, they can just pop in the earbud, they can
Exactly.
do chores, they can go
Yeah.
on their drive, they can multitask.
Yeah.
We're busy today, right? So
Exactly.
we're doing tons of things. So that is where we've seen audiobooks have increased, and also the ebooks they're still on the
Yeah.
rise. They're always going to be on the rise. But it's interesting, and AI actually is playing a bit of a role in that too. So.
Ooh. Good or
Yeah.
bad?
Well, it's you know, when
It's hard,
It's
you know?
hard. When the internet came in, we were all like, "Oh no, what's going to happen?"
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, we get benefits, but there's also things to watch out for. So
Yeah.
that's one thing. When you're using AI, if you're putting your story ideas or any other information, that AI, engine, Copilot, or whatever you use,
Yeah.
can use that for other things. So you have to be careful about what you put in there, and and you have to really watch out for, publishers now, they're asking if there's an AI element in your writing. So
Okay.
it's coming fast, and there
Yeah.
are a lot of rules that are changing in this market today. So we're busy keeping up with the
Yes,
market
you
research.
are.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So you have so much information just to
Yeah,
share.
yes, it's
Thank
so
you
much
so much for
fun.
being here.
Thank
Let's talk a
you.
little bit more about the Festival of Books. Okay, so
Yes.
you have a booth. Are you going to be there Friday through Sunday?
We are going to be, it's open Saturday and Sunday. We'll
Okay.
be there both days, all
Okay.
day, and we're just excited to talk to people. Anybody that
Yes.
has that passion, has that story. Over
Yeah.
80% of Americans have always felt like they have a book in them and that
Yeah.
they should write it, but they just don't know how to get started.
Yeah.
So we help people move forward. We help them realize this is what it takes for you to do this, and you can do this. It's
Yeah.
all about that mindset. So yeah, we're going to be
Exactly.
talking about that this weekend.
Okay.
And offering any services that'll be helpful. We have another course that starts on March 26th. So
Okay.
that'll be our first live course, and I'm very excited about
Oh,
that.
super exciting. Okay,
Yeah.
anything else that you want to mention that we haven't touched on?
Anybody that has been in this area and has not gone to the Tucson Book Festival, highly recommend.
Yeah.
Because it is just a wonderful experience. It brings in community. It brings in people from all over, like me from Iowa, that can actually get to know others and connect and share common interests.
Yeah.
Like stories.
And now with the audiobooks too, this is just something that
Yes.
came to mind. Like my husband, he loves podcasts, television shows,
Oh, yes.
and I'm always like he's a police officer, so he loves like crime stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, now with all these audiobooks, like there's a little something for everyone. Even if you aren't just the typical sit down and read,
Yeah.
nowadays it really, if you go to the Festival of Books, even
You're
though
gonna
if you
get it
aren't,
all.
you're going to get it all,
Yeah.
even if you aren't a huge reader.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah, and the listening to audiobooks, it's getting easier and easier to produce
Yeah.
those. So the AI, we'll see more of that with AI's help.
Okay.
But I want to stress that the people that are producing those books now, they're doing a tremendous job, and
Oh,
keeping that human
yes.
factor and keeping
Yeah,
that
so
involvement is
important.
really important. Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. I'm going to go ahead and pull back up your website here. So, again, if you're interested, all you have to do is go to dreamtoauthor.com, or, of course, go out to the Tucson Festival of Books. Jackie's going to be out there Saturday and Sunday with her booth, so definitely go ahead and check that out. Or check out everything that Tucson Festival of Books has to offer. There's just so much there for everyone.
I need to add Fox News to my homepage.
Yes, you do. You do. I love it. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Jackie. And thank
Thank
you all
you.
so much for joining us. We will end with a look at Mount Bigelow, a spooky look out there. And we will be back tomorrow morning at 9:30 for Unscripted on 13 Plus. Thank you so much for watching. Have a fabulous day. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.